Hey guys, thanks for joining and checking out my video. Pretty quick here, DIY on how to install these hanging pendant lights. Got from Amazon, about 100 bucks for 4 of them. So I want to replace the old ones in here, and they're just kind of nasty looking, and it was time for an upgrade. So pulled it down. This one had 2 wires to it. Very simple to do. Here's the bracket that was here. This was mounted up here, kind of like this. But as you can tell, first thing I did, turn the power off at the breaker box and then turn the light switch on to make sure that the power is off. You can also check it with a voltmeter as well. First thing I did after I turned power off, I took the bracket off, 2 screws, one here, one here. These screws were actually from that bracket previously, from this one. Okay, and then I just want to show you quickly how the tools I use here. Needle nose pliers, sometimes I use these for squeezing the wires together. Sometimes it helps tightening them, especially when you're holding this thing upside down. And I don't have a lot of room because this is 5 feet from the counter to the ceiling, so it's very awkward on your neck and back, and you have to hold this up, and it takes a little bit of time to do it. Especially you want to make sure those wires are tight. So sometimes if you're playing around with it, and the wires can come out. But I use wire strippers if you need to. Sometimes the wires that they come with, they only give you about 1 inch or so. Sometimes you might need a little bit more space. So wire nuts, these are the good ones if there's 2 wires or a 3rd wire that you're connecting. So this is just, like for example, this is one ground wire. So there's 2 wires going into this wire nut. So I use a smaller one. The other ones had doubles, so I used 2, or I used the bigger wing nuts here. So those work pretty good. And then electrical tape if you need it as well. And then I use this small screwdriver to mount this up here. So once I put everything back, it's gonna go up in here. I'm gonna push this all up in there, but I did the bracket first. This bracket came with here. And then this also came with you could unscrew this to check for the appropriate height. So I had to set these correctly. But other than that, of course, ground to ground. And you have your black wire to your black wire and your white to your white. And then that's pretty much it. This plate here, sometimes you may need to check around the perimeter if the holes don't line up because they're all different. But other than that, that's how you do it and that's how you install it. It took me a little bit of time, but again, it's hard because you're upside down. You're holding this upside down, and these wires, they're a little bit hard because they're not so flexible. And there's not enough room between the counter and the ceiling for me to comfortably do it. But all in all, pretty simple, pretty easy project. Please like and subscribe. Any questions, comments, please ask below. Thanks, guys.